So, what's the real difference between a construction company that lasts for generations and one that just disappears after a couple of years? Today, we are digging into the actual blueprint for success, all based on Paul Netcher's fantastic guide, Building a Successful Construction Company.
And look, the advice we're going to talk about isn't just theory from a textbook. Nope, this stuff was forged in the real world. We're talking nearly 3 decades of experience. Paul Netcher has seen it all, the incredible successes and the absolutely crushing failures, and he's boiled all those lessons down into a super practical guide.
And this quote, right from the get-go, it just sets the stage perfectly. The construction business, well, it's not for the faint of heart. The profit margins can be razor thin, the risks are huge, and yeah, one single wrong move can bring the whole thing tumbling down.
Netcher actually calls the industry a roller coaster ride, and that is the perfect description. It's this constant up and down of boom and bust. Even when there's plenty of work, you're battling shortages of skilled people, materials, equipment, all things that just chew up your profit. The stakes are, well, they're incredibly high.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But here's the thing. The book makes it really clear that surviving and thriving isn't about getting lucky. Not at all. It's about strategy, it's about discipline, and it's about making smart moves right from the very beginning.
So where do you even start? Well, the first big lesson from the book is that your most important work happens way before anyone even steps foot on a job site. It all starts with a rock-solid strategy for picking the right work to go after.
This is so important. You see, when companies get desperate, they start bidding on pretty much anything that moves. But taking on the wrong project, one with crazy terms, impossible deadlines, or paper-thin margins, that is often way worse than having no work at all. It just sucks up your resources and can bleed a company dry.
So before you even think about putting a price on a bid, the book insists you got to ask yourself these tough questions. Does this job actually fit our company's skills? Have we really truly thought about everything that could possibly go wrong? Is the client fair? Is the contract reasonable? This kind of tough self-assessment is your number one line of defense.
Okay, so you've landed the right project. Awesome. But the fight is far from over. In fact, the real battle for profit starts every single day, right there on the job site. This is where you actually make or lose your money.
Now here's a really interesting shift in perspective. We tend to think our competitors are the main threat, right? But Netcher says the real danger is inside your own company. It's wasted time, wasted materials, and just plain inefficient ways of doing things. Take a look at this number, $1,000. On a big project, you might think, it's not the end of the world. But wait, let's put that into perspective. And that just illustrates the point perfectly. Let's say your company runs on a 10% profit margin. Well, you have to go out and complete $10,000 of new work just to cover that $1,000 mistake. When you think about it that way, plugging those little leaks suddenly becomes priority number one.
Now, the second big fight in this daily battle is the contract itself. It is not some document you sign and then forget about in a filing cabinet. No, it's the living rulebook for the project, and if you don't manage it closely, it can get incredibly expensive fast.
The advice here is super simple, but it's totally non-negotiable. You'd be shocked how many contractors don't read the fine print and end up giving away their rights or taking on unfair risks. You've got to understand every single clause, push back on stuff that's not reasonable, and always get a lawyer to look at it before you sign.
Okay, let's talk about success. Because ironically, that's where a lot of companies really get in trouble. Managing growth is, without a doubt, one of the toughest challenges in this entire business. I know, it sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? But it happens all the time. A small, really profitable company with a great reputation starts to expand. And then, all of a sudden, things start to fall apart. So, why does that happen? This slide here shows you exactly what goes wrong. When the company's small, the owner is right there, hands-on, making sure the quality is top-notch and keeping costs in check. But as you grow, the owner gets dragged into the office, control gets passed to other people who might not have that same fire, and that's when quality starts to slip and projects start losing money.
So the key takeaway here is that growth has to be intentional and controlled. It means building good systems, slowly empowering people you trust, having a really clear vision, and knowing when to say no. Just chasing growth for the sake of getting bigger is a total recipe for disaster.
And all of this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important theme of all. Because in the end, everything you do, from the projects you pick to how you manage your growth, it all boils down to one thing: your reputation.
The book has a line about this that is just so powerful. You can finish 10 projects perfectly, but the one you mess up, that's the one everybody's going to remember. Clients, a bit like people at a restaurant, have very long memories for bad experiences, and a bad reputation will absolutely cost you future work.
And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. Success in construction isn't like winning the lottery. It's the direct result of hard work, smart thinking, and just relentless discipline. It's about making smart choices day in and day out that stack the odds in your favor. You literally create your own luck.
So, as we wrap up this look at the book, here's the question to leave you with. Whether you're just starting out or you're trying to grow a company you've had for years, what's the very first, most important brick you're going to lay to build that lasting foundation for your success?